Welcome back to Unemployed with Anna Roisman. Oh my God, we haven't recorded, I'm going to say, in a minute, in like a month, more than a month. So I'm very excited to be back. This is, it's a new year. It's a new time. It's time to get jobs. I'm very excited for some of our guests lined up. But today, we are very lucky. We have an amazing guest. I mean, he's all over the scene in New York, I should say. He's a producer. He's a talent booker. He produces Rat Scraps, which used to be Ask Cat. I'm just going to say it like that. You might know him from the George Lucas Talk Show, formerly the Chris Gethard Show. You do a billion things. I can't believe he's unemployed today and talking to me, but we've got Patrick Cotnoir on the pod.
Oh, hello. I do too many things. That's the problem. How are you?
Me too. I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good. But me too. Sometimes you do too many things. You find yourself stuck.
Yeah. I get that. It's something I need to keep my brain moving in the right direction, where I'm like, I need to be doing 17 things at the same time. But I think it's exhausting and not fun.
But it's good. It keeps you going. It keeps you going.
Yeah. That's the hope. Yeah.
Well, I'm very happy that you're on the podcast. I want to say this was birthed from a tweet. I mean, I've always had you in mind, but this was birthed from a tweet, right? You tweeted that you were unemployed. You went for it.
And your Google alert went off.
It was like, I got a pigeon came to my window and was just like, here you go, name of unemployed person.
Yes.
So when did that happen? Right before the holidays?
No, it was right after the holidays. It was,
nice.
I don't know, week and a half ago, something like that. I mean, listen, unemployed is a loose term. I do not have a full-time job, but I have like 17 part-time jobs still. So it's like, I am still working and I still have some money coming in. It's, just don't have to wake up and go sit in a meeting every day anymore.
Yeah.
Which is
Me
not
too.
a bad thing.
No.
Yeah. It's not a bad thing.
You're very on brand, because that's what this is. I mean, I've made money in the last however many 5 years that I've done unemployed content, but a lot of days it doesn't feel like it.
Yeah. I relate to that. I mean, listen, a lot of the talent booker and producer job is like a hurry up and wait. So even if I am making money, there are days where I'm like, I sent like one email today and that's pretty much it because I'm just waiting on stuff.
Right.
So some days you do feel like you're unemployed, even if you're doing, 5 shows at the same time. It's it's fun.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
But you are doing a lot of shows, we should say right now, right?
Yes.
How many running shows are you producing or booking?
Currently in this exact moment, I am doing 2 comedy shows. I'm finishing up casting an HBO Max animated kids show, and I'm booking a podcast. So I guess 4 things right now.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
Yeah.
I'm so excited we have a talent booker on, Ellen. Put your best. I'm going to give you all the voices, I'm going to give you everything you need so I get booked, honey.
Great.
So, okay, but you were working a full-time job. That was what sparked the unemployed Patrick moment. Yes.
Yes.
And how long were you there?
I was there for almost 3 years. I think next week it would have been 3 years.
That's a long time.
And it was a long time, and it was the majority of that was pre-pandemic. So or I guess the minority of that was pre-pandemic.
It
started pre-pandemic. And I'd been there about a year and like 2 months. It felt like a lot longer than that at the time, just because I did a lot of stuff at that point. And then the pandemic happened, and it slowed down a lot there. So it did not always feel like I had a full-time job, but the healthcare was nice, and the income was nice. It's something you can't really complain about. That's the thing. That's the thing I miss the most is the healthcare. Can't just go to a doctor's office anymore.
You can, though. You're going to get there. If I can,
no, I know
anyone can. Okay.
Yeah.
So
I've got it figured out a little bit, but hopefully this will not be a long stretch of not having anything. The thing is,
you have such a good resume. I can't imagine you will be,
I mean, that's the hope.
Sitting there for that long.
The freelance life is tough when you're diabetic and you need doctor's visits and medicine all the time and stuff like that. You're not on a health plan for the majority of it, so it's tough.
Wow. Yeah. Well,
Anyways,
fingers crossed.
Sorry to bring you down right away.
You're not bringing us down. No, you're going to get on a great healthcare plan. You're going to be like, remember that old one? This is way better. Remember when we were so young, we didn't even realize like what's good healthcare versus bad healthcare.
Yeah. Remember, I mean, for me, at least before the age of 26, when you're just like, Mom and Dad, you have it? Great. Let's not worry about it.
Yeah.
That was the dream. It was the dream.
Yeah. I just remember getting told that at 25 when they're like, you better find something. And I was like, why? What happens? What happens if I don't?
If I don't. Yeah. And it was also tough because my dad works for a healthcare company. So it was one of those things where I was like, oh, I'll be fine. And then I'm like, oh, no, I won't. Oh, okay, great. Got it.
Oh, no.
I guess
Come
I can't
on,
do this
nepotism.
anymore.
Let's go.
I know.
Let's go.
It's the one time it doesn't work. Yeah.
Fuck. Yeah, that sucks. I know. I remember I had a friend whose dad was a pilot and he always flew for free. And I was like, wow, that is some perk. That is a good perk. And you were like riding around with your health insurance and then you're like, oh wait, this doesn't apply to me anymore. I'm too old.
Flashing the card, just being like, oh, my dad works there. Yeah.
So your pandemic, I've been starting these episodes asking everyone how has your pandemic been? It sounds like you were pretty employed for most of it, right?
Yeah, I was very employed for a lot of it. It's weird because like, as a talent booker, having a pandemic where everyone is staying at home and everyone is used to doing Zoom shows and Zoom things and interviews online kind of made my job a lot easier in a lot of respects, because it was just like everyone was doing this and this was the new normal and we didn't have to rely on, who's in New York this week anymore, especially for things like the George Lucas shows, like, we can get people in LA now and we can get people in London now and we can get people in New Zealand, and like it didn't matter where anyone was. So it kind of
cool.
was not,
it's kind of great.
It was very cool. Yeah. And it helped expand my Rolodex, which is always something that's good for a talent booker. It's like I'm not just relying on the same 45 comedians in New York anymore. I'm like able to go to other places and get people who I've always liked, but because of the distance, it was always an impossibility until now. So not to make it sound like, I had the best pandemic in the world, but like it definitely it made it a little bit easiher for me.
It's okay. We only lost half our listeners on that. They're like, this guy was fine.
Great.
I'll for these last 2 years. Bye.
Yeah. Sorry, everybody.
No,
that doesn't mean
cool.
I want to be clear. Very sad and did not leave the house for a lot of it. So that hopefully will bring them back.
But the celebs you booked, man, worth it, No, I think that's cool. I'm not going to lie. I mean, I kind of miss, life feels more stressful now that we are going and doing shows again in person and everything. I kind of miss that. Like, it was like a level playing field in terms of like the Zoom shows, the podcast, whoever you're booking. Like, I felt like, we're all in this together right now. We're not like comparing, I didn't even compare. I wasn't like, this person had so many more Zoom shows than me this year. I was like, I don't care if I do a fucking Zoom show. Cool. If not, cool.
Yeah, it's fine. I'm fine. Yeah. I mean, I was talking with someone about this the other day. Rat Scraps, which for people listening, it's an improv show in New York that celebrities come in and tell stories from their life. Anna's done it. And then people do improv based off of... You did Ask Cat.
Yeah.
It's
which I have to talk to you about. But yeah. Okay.
Okay. Oh, wow. Okay. But it started up in August of last year. And we got a solid 4 months worth of shows in, and then we took a break in December because of Omicron. And it got a little weird again. But it was one of those things where I was like, I kind of wish we didn't have those 4 months of feeling that freedom again. Because now I'm sort of going back to doing Zoom stuff and live stream stuff. And it's like, oh yeah, this is what it was. But remember that freedom that we had? And
it was a tease.
I don't know. It was a tease really, and I don't like it.
Yeah, it was. And I feel like every day right now, I'm like, wait, is it safe to do this? Is it not? Are we supposed, what, even people who are on vacation, there's still influencers in the Caribbean, that I see online. And I'm like, is that safe right now? Like, can I get the fuck out of here and go to the Caribbean and post about it?
Yeah. I mean, I was supposed to be in San Francisco last week for Sketchfest, and that got canceled.
That got canceled, yeah, I saw.
We have some other Lucas stuff coming up in the next couple months that, I'm pretty sure is going to get canceled. It's just one of those things where it's like, I don't know how long this can keep, how long we can keep booking stuff and then, having to get it canceled and just like keep feeling that disappointment over and over again. But
I was saying, the silver lining of all of this, this is not a good silver lining, but we have all adapted to like, oh, you have a show to do? Great, you can do it online. Or, oh, you have a film festival? Great, we're going digital. Like, it's wild that we can just flip a switch now when we were all like panicked when it first happened. But you do miss that, like, that networking aspect, that in-person, part, hanging out with people. Like, it's such a, it's so different to sign on and watch the thing and then click your button and we're back to where we were.
I know.
So,
we're all doing great.
We're doing great. Although you said you haven't left your apartment since December. It's January. Yeah, that's true. I don't know.
No, I'm very aware. Yeah. Okay, I think about it all the time. No, I here I'll tell you exactly why I haven't. Okay. I got exposed mid-December, and it was like the first time that had happened to me that I knew about over the
like you were contacted. You've been exposed. Yeah, that's like, scary.
Or someone was like, oh, I got sick after this.
Wow, first time. That was like a long stretch of time before it happened.
Well, I didn't, didn't really leave the apartment. You
were safe.
Being diabetic, I was like being real cautious and real careful about a lot of stuff. Yeah, and I was pretty locked down until like March-ish when my second shot kicked in after that. And then had a fun old summer, going out and doing a lot of stuff. But I went and got a test. I went and got a test. I got a PCR test. The rapid test came back negative, whatever. Got a PCR test. Never heard back.
Oh, no.
Did not hear back. Still do not know. I mean, like, obviously it's beyond the point at this point. But like, so I canceled going home for Christmas because I was like, I don't know. I have no idea. So it's and now we're here and it's not great in this area. So I'm going out on walks and stuff, but I've not been into the city, not like gone to a show, gone to anything in a while.
I can't believe you never got your test back. You didn't go get another one elsewhere?
No.
You feel okay though, right?
I felt fine. I didn't have any symptoms. I was like, I'm sure I'm fine.
Yeah.
And I'm sure I'll get it back soon. And then it got to the point where I was like, well, if I had it, it doesn't matter at this point. And if I like...
that would drive me insane. Matter, so. That's crazy. Yeah. I mean, I've heard this from other people too, that they just, 12 days, 13 days. They're like, what
Newsweek reached out to me and I got quoted in an article being like, I never got my test back. It's the weirdest press I've ever been involved in.
I love that so much. Though.
Yeah. I made the,
it's like this guy from Brooklyn. He's like, I never got my test. I haven't left months.
I made the guy who wrote the article put one of my tweets in the article. I was like, yeah, sure, you can do this if you put the tweet in there. And I got a couple followers off of
it.
So.
That's great. That's great.
That's how you do
get some off this. Everybody follow Patrick. You tweet very funny stuff. You're always very witty, very funny. Nice. Never leave the home nice. Because you're creating the tweets.
Okay. Yeah. No, I'll never see you again. It's okay. It's totally fine. I'm fine with that.
Wait, I want to say two things for those who don't know what Rat Scraps is. You just said it's an improv show, which sounds very humble of you, but it was the biggest improv show. It used to be ASCAT at UCB. We've had people on the podcast who've done it, and it was the biggest show every week that you booked. Yeah. I mean, and you said, "Oh, Anna, you did it," and like, can I just tell you. That is one of the best memories of my life. I said it like it was a bad thing. I was like, I have to talk to you about that. Yeah. I have a bone to pick. No, it was, I never felt, I don't want to say accepted, but kind of. I never felt in at UCB. I never got on a house team. I did all the levels and everything, and I performed there all the time in shows. And then I sort of started doing more stand-up and video stuff. But when you asked me to do, I was like, it came full circle. I was like, oh my God, this awesome. Is like, it felt so great to just be able to go and do that. And my friends who were in my 101 class, who I still like make content with, like came to it and they were like, this is it. And I was like, oh.
And you were great. You were really good at it too. You.
I love telling stories.
Yeah, that was a fun show. And Rat Scraps is pretty much the same thing, but you got to build up that audience again, because ASCAT definitely had that like built-in group of people who came every week no matter what. The show was free, like all of this stuff. It was like very easy to get a crowd, and now we're like realizing, oh yeah, we gotta promote and we gotta like really get people out. And it's hard, to be like, hey guys, come to a show even though we know it's weird out, and like I don't know. It's a tougher climate, but it's a fun show and people like doing it. And I think people were very excited to get back on a stage in August, so that was a very nice feeling.
Totally.
When they came
and
out,
I think
when they came out
audiences
the
are
first time.
excited. I think the audiences are excited to like be back and have an experience again.
I know. Yeah, hopefully we start up again soon. I know we're taking a few weeks off and doing them virtually again, just for safety. And then, maybe February or something we'll get back up. So.
Yeah. Yeah. I hope we get past this, like, oh, everybody stop. Like, we can only hope. I don't know. I'm feeling hopeful.
Who knows? Yeah, I hope so.
Do you like staying? Do you like being home though? Or are you a homebody?
I do.
Me too.
I mean, I like going out and doing stuff just to like keep my brain engaged and things like that. Yeah, I mean, I like staying at home. It's definitely, I feel like over this last couple of years, my roommate and I have like got the routine down, and we're like, this is good, this is great. But then, getting that little taste of freedom outside is always like so nice. But I've gotten to know Queens so well at this point, just from like walking around, where I'm like, oh, I know where everything is in this neighborhood, because that's all I do is go on walks.
It's good you go on walks. I don't go on walks unless it's with my dog, but that's like a block.
Are you in Manhattan?
No, I'm in Williamsburg.
Okay.
Ellen,
okay.
You looked at me weird. Do you go on walks? I don't go on walks.
Yeah, you have to go on walks for your mental health.
We walk the dog.
Yeah.
But for some reason, like there have been some times where Jared will be like, Anna, you haven't left in 2 days. You haven't been outside. And I'm like, has it been that? I'm like, I'm fine.
I did 8.5 miles this weekend.
Whoa.
I like went out and like really walked. I like purposefully got lost. It was a really good walk. I was like, I'm just going to go get lost. I'm going to walk as far as I can in this one direction. And I like almost got to LaGuardia. And I was like, I've walked too far. I need to turn around.
And then he's like, I might as well go to Florida if I'm already here.
At this point, who cares? Yeah.
Oh, man. So I like to take it back. I want to take it back to like teenage you. I want to know, where did you grow up? I don't even think I know where you grew up. And what did you want to be when you grew up?
I grew up in northern Connecticut. There's this town called Enfield. It's very much not the Connecticut you think of when you think of Connecticut. It's like, very suburban, very middle class, a lot of farmland, which will come back into play in a little bit.
So not like the polo shirts and the,
No. And the boats and the yacht clubs. Yeah, none of that.
Okay.
None of that. That's very southern Connecticut. We were the last town before Massachusetts. So if you're going up like 91 to get to Massachusetts, you got to go through Enfield. What did I want to be? I wanted to be... The earliest thing I wanted to be was president. That was like the number one thing as a kid, because I had a dang placemat that I would eat all my meals off of that had all the presidents on it. So I was like, oh, well, you can be president if you know everything about the presidents. So here are all the presidents. I can list them all. Obviously, I'm qualified now. Then I realized I was like, no, this does not sound fun. I don't want to do that.
So educational of your parents to like, that's what you ate off of. And you're like, what years was Nixon?
I think, yeah. And I think I probably could still, if I had like a piece of paper, I could probably like write them all down just because it was so ingrained in my brain as a kid. And then the Lego North American headquarters was in my hometown. And we had a lot of like family friends who like worked for the company. So I wanted to be someone who designed the sets for Lego.
Cool.
Which I have no skill to do. Like, I'm not an architect. Like, there's nothing. I was just like, oh, I like Legos. And I could definitely be like, yeah, I want to see a freaking pyramid. I'll design that, whatever.
For your town, though, that's like a realistic goal, though. People were like, oh, wow, look.
Oh, totally.
He saw where he wanted to work and he picked a job there.
Yeah. And then he never left his town and he was totally happy. And they also closed up most of their stuff in the town. So I would have been out of work anyways and I could have come on the podcast. What else? I wanted to work for the Muppets and I wanted to be a puppeteer. That was a big one too when I was a kid.
That's a cool job.
And that is
a cool job. They have like Muppet School, right? You can like go and train.
At UConn was the school of puppetry. It's like the number one puppetry school in the country or whatever. So it was like not an unrealistic thing where I was like, it's like half an hour away. I could definitely go to UConn and do that. And then I think it just, I realized that there's not a lot of jobs in that world, and the entertainment industry at large, there's a few more jobs, not many, but a few more. And I sort of just expanded it to that. But I like interned at Sesame Street and stuff and worked on a couple things. So I like got there eventually in certain ways. Just
That's
not,
cool.
Yeah,
I feel like if you're in that world, you will work forever. Like, I feel like the people who
for sure
who puppeteer, I mean, you know, they either did Avenue Q for 20 years, they do Sesame Street, Avenue Q.
Totally.
I could list, because I've seen people who, I knew someone in that world, and I was like, they're always working. It's so cool.
Yeah. Yeah, it's, I mean, this is a longer story, but like I knew some people in it, and that was how I got the internship there. And it was definitely something where I feel like if I wanted to pursue it and really wanted to go for it, I probably could have, but it just wasn't. It stopped at a certain point where I was like, I can't do voices. Like, that was my big thing, was like, I could do the puppets, sure, but I can't do voices. That's crazy. And I think
he
that's
does a
what
podcast, but
yeah. But I think that's what killed it, was just like, oh yeah, I'm not a performer. Because I acted in high school. And then I got that out of my system, and I was like, well, I don't want to act anymore. And I think I conflated those two things in my head.
Wow. I love that you got it out of your system. I feel like everyone I met when I started, when I went to college or started at UCB, we were all the leads in our high school plays, right? And then people were like, and now I need more. And you were like, been there.
I mean, listen, you're talking to the president of the drama club for Enrico Fermi High School. So
we would have been best friends in high school. I was in the theater club.
But I didn't think I was good at it. And I think I could acknowledge, like, you're not a good actor, and that's fine. You're fine for high school, but like if you tried to do this in real life, it would not go anywhere. And I did it a lot. It was like a social thing, and like had a lot of friends in the club, and that was why I liked doing it, was because I got to hang out with everybody. And there was one play, I hated learning lines, and I was so bad at it. And there was one play where I was a detective, and the whole time I was writing stuff in my notebook, and I absolutely just transcribed all of my lines into the notebook because I was like, well, there would be writing in here. And they got very mad at me.
Smooth. I like that.
It worked, though. It worked.
What play was it?
It's called Acts of Murder, AX.
Oh.
And I was Detective Mike Axe.
So the title role.
Yeah.
Wow.
Anna, it was not good, Anna. Let me tell you.
That's impressive. I don't know. Is there a video of this somewhere? Let me be the judge of that.
Yeah, there is. And I promise you it's not good. And it will never see the light of day.
Do you ever watch old plays like that? Do you ever amuse yourself?
Well, there's one. I was the genie in Aladdin in middle school.
Okay. Wow. That's an honor. After Robin Williams, it was you? I mean, that's huge.
Yeah.
Huge role.
And it was a huge role. And I'm still mad they wouldn't let me shave my head. And I really wanted to. And looking back, I'm like, I should have just done it.
Yeah.
You show up and like, what are they going to do? Put you in a wig? So I was very mad about that. I've gone back and watched clips here and there, but I don't really like watching myself on stuff. So it's, it's not something I really enjoy, but
I don't either. I used to, when I was like really depressed, like I'm like 10 years ago, like when I first moved to New York, when it was like hard. It's still hard. Yeah. I should say that. I would like throw on like when I was the lead in Chicago in college, and I'd be like, God damn it, Anna, you peaked. Get back there. Yeah. If I watched it now, I'd be like, you're terrible. But there was a moment where I was like, maybe you peaked.
Do you listen to the podcast?
To what podcast?
To this podcast. Like, can you listen to yourself talking?
Oh, sure. Yeah, I do listen to it. I when you were like, do you listen to the podcast? I was like, yours?
The Chicago in College podcast? No, I mean, I didn't do anything. I didn't act or do anything really on stage or on camera for like 10 years. And then during the pandemic, they like brought me onto the Lucas show as like an on-camera producer guy. And that was like my first thing in like a very long time. And I'm glad I did it, because I think it like saved my sanity just to like have that regular normalcy of like going on and talking to my friends every week and stuff like that. But it was definitely weird getting back into it after the 10 years off, 11 years off, or whatever.
Well, I'm honored you're a guest on here. You sound great. I think you should get on that mic more often.
It's great. Well, now I'm used to it. So it's,
Now you've got another show coming out soon, right? It's just the Patrick Cotnoir show.
Yeah.
Love it.
Don't wait around for that one.
All right. Well, we heard you had an internship at Sesame Street, which is dope. But what was like the first paying job you ever had?
Yeah. So the first paying job, I was trying to think about this today, timeline wise. I think it was sophomore year of high school. I was like a gym attendant for rec league basketball games in my hometown. So like I would be in charge of the basketballs and like have to carry them with me to work every day, or not every day, like once a week or whatever it was. And if someone got hurt, gym attendant in like an elementary school gym for like 8-year-olds running around practicing basketball at like 8 p.m. on a Wednesday.
Wow.
Yeah. So I did that for a year, like a season.
Mm-hmm. That's cool.
I don't really remember much from it. I don't think it was that engaging. I probably like brought a book with me and just like read that the whole time. But that summer, this is gonna feel like it's coming from left field. I brought it up earlier, but we're bringing it back. I picked tobacco.
Wait.
Oh.
You brought this up earlier? When did you
farmland?
I said there was a lot of farms in my hometown.
Yeah.
You picked tobacco.
That's what they grow out in Connecticut?
Uh-huh.
Wow,
Damn.
I didn't know that. I had no idea.
Yeah.
I always imagined it being grown in like the middle of the country somewhere.
The area where I lived was called Tobacco Valley. I don't know what it was about the dirt that like made it very fertile for tobacco, but a lot of the stuff, it was like the rolling papers for cigars.
Okay.
And that was like the specialty in the area that I was in. But we knew this family that owned a tobacco farm in our town. Like my parents were friends with them. And it was mostly guys from like the Dominican Republic and like Puerto Rico that they would like fly in for the season, and they all lived in a big house together and stuff like that. And then they just knew I needed a job or wanted a job because I was going to New York and wanted to like save up money. And this was like the thing that was going to help me out to pay for college and all that stuff. And I did it for maybe 2 or 3 months. Okay. It was so hot because it was like 90 degrees. You have to do it under plastic tarps because that's where they do to like keep the moisture in so it doesn't all just dry out. And I was doing it. It was going fine. It was exhausting. I would come home and we'd have to like shower me off in the backyard because I would just be covered in dirt. I was like caked in dirt. But then there was 1 week where I lost 40 pounds in a week.
What?
And we were like, my parents said, oh, well, it must just be the fact that you're doing like manual labor. Like you're outside doing stuff. This has to be the reason. And I had a doctor's appointment. You're a
growing kid, right?
I'm a growing boy, like stretching out, losing all this baby fat finally. I was 16. Had a doctor's appointment that week, and they found out I had diabetes.
Oh my God.
It was just me like sweating out all of the toxins from my body. So I was like slowly dying while I was doing picking the tobacco.
That's so scary.
Yeah, so I stopped picking tobacco.
Like, he's really working hard.
This is great for you.
Doing a lot. Finally, we get him out of the house, and look at this. He loses 60 pounds. This is great. Or 40 pounds.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Wow, so I can't believe you were diagnosed that young, too. That's wild.
Yeah.
Tobacco saved your life.
I know. Thank God. I'm maybe the only person who can legitimately stay that claim. So I did it for like 3 months, and it was like good, and I made a lot of money. Like it was so much money that if I'd done it the whole summer, I would have been like set for a while in New York. Like I would not have had to get a job in New York for a little bit. So that was
fascinated
really good.
by this. Maybe I should go
pick
tobacco.
Yeah. Should I
mean, the way you just sold me, you're like, I made a lot of money. I'd be set in New York. I'm like, I need it.
I had my iPhone in a little Ziploc bag because otherwise it would get covered in dirt and like would not be able to work anymore. So I would just like plow through podcasts and music and audiobooks and stuff while I was like on my hands and knees all day going through and like probably maybe giving myself cancer in some way in the future. Who knows? But yeah, we'll see. And then after that, because they still felt bad that I couldn't do tobacco, the people who own the farm. So they're like, we have a vegetable stand. Do you want to work at the vegetable stand?
These people are just, they are handing out jobs. I love
Yes.
them.
Yeah. Yes. So I worked at a vegetable stand, I think for 3 summers, I want to say. 3
Like
seasons.
a farmer's market? Like when you...
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
that
So it was
kind
like
of
corn,
stand?
like corn and peppers and apples and like all that kind of stuff.
Lovely.
Anything they could grow or get from around the area. Nobody ever came. Like we would have like one customer a day maybe. So I would bring like a portable DVD player and just watch movies the whole day and be out there for like 9 hours just by myself, losing my mind. But
Getting paid hourly though.
well, getting paid so much money because the person who ran the vegetable stand was the people who owned the farm's 16-year-old son. They said, okay, you're going to be in charge of this. This is your business venture. You will figure out how to make money on this. And then when you get old enough, you'll be able to run the farm. So he would pay me so much money just in general. And then he would give me like bonuses and he would buy us lunch every day. And then he would be like, hey, I need to go somewhere. Will you drive me? I'll fill up the gas on your car.
Whoa.
Great
So
boss.
I just didn't. It was the best. It was the best. It was the best thing in the world. He would like have his friend come and just watch it while we were gone for like 2 hours. He would not get paid. I would get paid to like.
Wow.
He's like, I really need some ice cream. Let's go get some ice cream. And we would just drive him and be getting like $25
boss.
an hour or something like that. Yeah.
That's sick. Is this family, are you still in touch with this family? Because
Yeah.
they sound
Yeah.
great. I mean, they sound very
Yeah.
generous for,
Sure. Maybe I should hit them up because I don't have a job right now. Like maybe
mean,
it's time to go back.
I feel like it's going to be spring soon. The vegetables are coming in, who knows? Maybe
Yeah.
they need a hand.
Yeah.
Drive him
So
to get
those
ice
were-
cream.
Those were, I mean, he's like 23 now, so I feel like he could probably drive himself. I don't know. Those were my high school jobs. Those were like the 3 things that I did, even through, because I did the farm stand summer between freshman and sophomore year of college. Too,
Okay.
So,
I love this. Your high school jobs, you were like, I was fucking thriving. I was making a shit ton of money. Most people are like,
Yeah.
I made $8 an hour at the ice cream
was-
shop.
it was probably over $20 an hour if I had to.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was great. It was great. It was the best.
Wow. So then you moved to New York. Did you go to school in New
Yeah.
York?
I did. I went to Pace University.
Okay.
Which is like, it's like NYU's lesser cousin, It was
Was that,
a
is that their slogan?
it's on all the signs. They're like, couldn't get into NYU? Come to Pace. It was fine. It was one of those things that I just used it just so I could be in the city, Didn't apply to NYU. I don't know why. I applied to Hunter, which is also in the city, but they like couldn't guarantee housing freshman year. And we were all like, well, no, we're not going to do that because I don't know what I'm doing. I've never lived here before. So I went to Pace and truly just used it as, the kicking off point for like staying in New York. And I feel like I barely went to school. I I graduated, I did everything, but like by the end, I pretty much just condensed all of my school days into like one day. So I'd just take all of my classes on like one day and then just like not go to the campus for the rest of the time, which was great.
That was
really
the
good.
best. I remember once you figured out your schedule, I was like, no Friday, no Monday for sure.
Absolutely not.
Even if
Yeah.
it's a class I want to take. Sorry, bad schedule.
I'll come on Tuesday from like 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. Sure. Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
do that. Where did you
I
go?
liked going. I went to BU, so I was in Boston, which was fun. It was fun to be in a city, but it wasn't like I wished I went to school in New York. I mean, Boston kept me grounded.
Yeah.
I think if I went to school in New York, I would have dropped out and been like, fuck this, I'm auditioning. I don't care. And
Sure.
So Boston, there was nothing else to do besides, go to the movies, shop.
Yeah.
It was a city, so it was fun.
I think I got into Brandeis and Emerson. I think those were the 2 that I applied to in Boston. I don't remember. It was a long time ago at this point. But those were, I was like either going to go to Boston or New York. Those were my, because
I knew I wanted to be in a city. I looked at Ellen. Ellen went to Syracuse. I looked at your school, Ellen, and didn't I tell you there was a snowstorm?
It was too cold. Yeah.
There was a snowstorm and they canceled like the school tour. So they were like, you can come to an orientation session or something. I went with my mom. I was like, and then we like went to like Target. I don't know. We went to one place. I was like, Mom, I'm not going here. There's nowhere to go.
This sucks.
Now, I'll say this. My mom got into Syracuse and she didn't go and she still talks about it to this day.
Wow. Oh, regrets. Everyone I know who went loved it. You liked it, right?
Yeah.
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 I mean, I'm also from Syracuse, so it's a little bit,
Sure.
It was my hometown. But it was a great school to go to, yeah. Good education.
Yeah.
I grew up in the suburbs, but I knew I was like, I need more. I need a busy city.
Yeah.
And then I picked Boston, the earliest city in the world. It was fun, but I left the day after I graduated. I was like, bye-bye.
Yeah. I get that. I get that.
So what did you do when you got to New York? Did you work in college?
I mean, here's the thing. I've been very lucky in my jobs that I've never had to do like a retail job or like a restaurant job or anything like that. I did a lot of internships in college. Where was I? Sesame Street, Above Average, which was Broadway Video's like YouTube channel.
Yeah.
I was their first intern. So that was like a nice little badge of honor I had for a while.
I loved Above Average.
Me too.
That was like the most fun. Whenever I like booked, like I did a couple shoots with them, I was like, I loved like the people I worked with there, and they had really funny sketches. That was such a cool spot. I was sad to see it go.
Me too. It was a real bummer. I was a UCB office intern. I was part of the CNBC long form documentary department. Intern, and I did SNL for a year and a half. So I had a lot of stuff, and I was doing the Gethard show at the same time.
That's a ton.
Yeah,
I love that. I love that you were very like focused though. You were like, I want to work in entertainment. I like comedy. I'm gonna work for these. You work for great places.
Yeah, there was one point where I was doing 2 internships, Gethard and school at the same time, and it was like truly a nightmare. It was so much. I would, it was just, I had no free time. I had no personal life. It was just like always work all the time, which was fine. It was the choice I made and I don't regret it. And I think it's helped me get other jobs since then, but it was definitely, it was a choice. It was definitely a choice.
At that point, did you know where you wanted, like, did you know you wanted to book talent? Did you know you wanted to produce or write or?
I thought I wanted to produce, but I didn't really know what that meant at that point, because the goal has always been, and I think probably will always be, to work on a late night show in some capacity. And Gethard kind of scratched that itch for a while.
Sure.
But like the nightly, the Seth Meyerses, the Colberts, like those kind of like 5 nights a week we're doing a show, that kind of thing. So I thought I wanted to work on that. I thought I wanted to maybe do movie stuff, and I like worked on one movie, and I was like, I never want to do this again. I'm exhausted. This is awful. I never ever want to do that. And then I was working on Gethard for a while, and the ASCAP booking job opened up. It was Michael Caine and Catherine Mudon had been doing it, and they were stepping away, taking some time off. And Shannon O'Neill, who was running UCB, was like, I think you might like doing this. I don't know if this is anything that you have any interest in, but like, if you want to try it out, try it out. And that was October 2014. And I did it until the dang theater closed at the beginning of the pandemic.
2014. Holy shit. You booked all those shows.
Yeah, it was over 500. It was over 500
That's insane.
shows.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
And like, I'm going to say, okay, people come for the comedy for sure, right? They always had the best performers on that show. Yeah. But what was so cool about the show is you didn't announce who the monologist ever was. Yeah. So like, that's like your surprise every week, which is
And it was the best
so
thing.
Fun.
I mean, one of the reasons I think that we did that, and I think this is smart, is because one week you show up and Mark Hamill's there. And one week you show up and someone you don't know, but they're good, is there. So like
Anna Roisman.
Anna Roisman. And one week Anna Roisman is there. So like, if you say Mark Hamill's going to be there, of course you're going to sell every single ticket in the room. Right. You say, listen, I'm not saying this specifically, but because you use the name Anna Roisman, I'm going to say the name Anna Roisman. You say Anna Roisman's there. who knows how many tickets you're going to sell. So I think not announcing who's coming was definitely a selling point, because then you find out the next day and you're like, what do you mean Alan Alda was there? I missed Alan Alda? This is the worst. I have to go next week. And then next week it's, hey, look, it's Anna Roisman.
Shit. She just keeps coming back, huh?
She's a regular. She's a regular.
I thought that was great, because I thought, especially as a younger comedian, when I went to go watch ASCAT, I thought it was really cool that like people started to love the performers on it. It wasn't just about the monologist. And I think you're right. If you had said who it was, it would just be about that. No one would care who's performing that week or anything. You always knew. But if you went, you always knew, I'm going to get a good show no matter what, no matter who's up there. And
the fact that you can go and someone, and I'm going to say this because he's working a lot now, and it makes me very happy to see that people are recognizing his talents everywhere. But like Brandon Scott Jones can come out and there'll be a huge pop from the audience. That's rad. That's so cool. Yeah. You know, because like to a very specific subsect of the population of New York, like those people are kind of like rock stars a little bit, where it's like, oh yeah, I go every week and they make me laugh so much. And then now that like he's like one of the leads on a CBS sitcom. Like, my mom sees him every week on TV. Like, it's cool that you could be like, oh yeah, no, I've known Brandon for like over a decade at this point. Yeah. You know,
that's cool. I love that. And so many people from that show like went on to do amazing things. And and you booked it, and you gave him a start.
Oh boy.
I'll never forget once I was really young, and I think I had done like, 401, 501, whatever it was, advanced study. And I like put it on my resume. I met some like manager and they were like, yeah, send me your resume or whatever. And literally in the response, they go, honestly, I could give a shit that you've done like UCB advanced. Unless you're on ASCAT, I really don't care.
Wow. Okay.
I mean, here's what I'll say.
I didn't sign with her. I'll just say that. I did not sign.
No.
Nor did I think she wanted me after that email.
It is kind of crazy, though, how that has become like a thing that no matter where I'm interviewing for like a job or whatever, that's the thing they bring up.
Yeah.
Which says a lot about that show. You know?
Totally. It was a staple of New York comedy. It was like, there's improv and then there's ASCAT. Like, it really was like, I felt like, the capital of the improv world. It was,
I do feel like I lucked out because you say there's improv, and there's a big stigma with that phrase, there's improv.
Sure.
And I think I lucked out because I was always working on these shows with very seasoned veteran performers. So I did not have to go to a lot of those shows where it's like, oh, well, this is improv,
Yeah.
I got you. The sigh attached to it.
Yeah. I have a question. Were there ever any ASCAT shows where you booked a celebrity, you're excited to have them on, and they bombed? I mean, we don't have to say names, because we don't need to do that. But like, did that happen? And you were like, oh my God, this hurts.
Absolutely. It did. Absolutely did. I'll say this. It's kind of a hard show to mess up.
Right.
As long as you go out and you talk and you're not an asshole and like you can keep the audience on your side the whole time, it's a pretty hard show to mess up. You go out, you tell a story, just give some details, and even if you're bad, the performers will make you look good. But there's a handful. There's probably like 5 people I can think of where it was like, oh no, I don't want to relive that night. Just because like I'm standing in the back corner and when it's going bad, I see like Shannon look at me or something like that. And I'm like, we're here. We just got to live with this. This is
right.
And a lot of times they would say something. A lot of times.
Also, you're not their manager. Like you're not helping their career. You just booked them for a show.
Absolutely not. I just booked them. I wanted to see them. A lot of times it was, white men in their 60s or early 70s who maybe would say something that is maybe not en vogue right now to say.
Absolutely, yeah.
And they would lose the audience really quick. It only happened a couple times, but someone would say just a term that is no longer appropriate or accepted, or they would bring up some story from the 70s where they're like talking about how much fun they had at this party doing all this stuff, and everyone's like, oh, okay, maybe don't tell the story. Maybe this is not the story to tell. It was always fun. Similarly, some people would come in and be like, I've got the best story I'm going to tell. Here it is. I'm going to tell you the story. And they would tell me a story. And then I'd have to be like, well, sometimes it's better to just like make up the story on the fly, because I'm like, do not tell this story. This will not work out well for you if you tell this story.
They've been outlining all day.
And I just have to like slowly try to move them away from that. It didn't happen that much though. And I think that was always, thank God that it didn't, because it was never fun when it did.
Was there anyone you booked, like, who would you say was your most famous celeb that you got, that you were like, damn, I really landed this person?
I mean, it was probably Mark Hamill, it was like, it had to have been, I think, but like most famous, I feel like the most people in the world probably know him out of the people I've had. But there was like Meredith Vieira did it, and like Kevin Bacon and Paul Schaefer and, like Keegan-Michael Key. We had Sarah Koenig the week of the season 1 finale of Serial. So like people had like just heard it and like were freaking out. And like Keegan-Michael Key was the week of the series finale of Key and Peele. Like there was just like a lot of cool people at the right time. You know who was really big? Actually, this is a good one. Steve Burns, who's Steve from Blue's Clues. Did it, and it was before the Steve-assance that happened a couple months ago, I feel like, when like he was on TikTok and everything. And it was the loudest I've ever heard that theater was when he walked out, because it was just like the kids of the right age were there and like some parents were there. Everyone knows him, and he hasn't kept a huge profile since the show went off because he's been doing behind the scenes stuff.
That's cool.
Freaked out. Yeah. It was rad.
He was on a float on the Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade too. Steve has a real I know. A resurgence for that,
He's back, baby. He's back. Yeah.
I auditioned to be a Blue's Clues host. I could have been a Steve.
You would have been really good at that, I feel like.
Thank you. Well, if they're out there, it was last year that I auditioned. I'm like, I still, I'm still hoping to hear back, but I didn't hear back. So
now I hate to ask this, but I'd regret it if I didn't. Can we hear a little bit?
I don't remember
Can we meet Anna? Just give us a little bit. You're an improviser. Just give me a little bit of what Anna would have been.
It would have been like, hi, kids. Welcome to Blue's Clues. Today, we're going to check the mail. Or something.
Very aggressive at the end.
We're going to check the mail. What's that? Uh-oh, it's a bill. Fuck bills, guys. Get a 401k.
Perfect.
No, I did. There was a singing component. I don't remember it, but, it was, I was like, do I want to audition for this? Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Of course you do. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We'll see. 2022, maybe they need a new Steve. I'm not male. I think that was, but I made a joke on Twitter that I'd like to be the first female host of Blue's Clues.
Yeah, why not?
Really break that glass ceiling, Come on, Nickelodeon.
The one thing that women can't break into is being a host of Blue's Clues. Come on.
Come on. Yeah. Maybe you'll book for them next time and you'll remember this conversation, and you'll say, you know what, maybe we should go female next season.
You'll see me putting out casting notices for like talking blue dogs, and you'll be like, oh man, he got the job. He's looking for talking salt and pepper shakers. That must be for Blue's Clues.
So do you have any dream jobs that you want? Anything you want to manifest for this year? I know you're in a transitional time right now. I'm all about manifesting right now.
The late night show, right?
The late night is a big one. Here are the pillars. Okay. The pillars that I wanna at some point do something with. Late night TV. Muppets. Star Wars.
Okay.
And what was the last one? Wait, what was the last one?
Star Wars.
Damn.
Those are the three.
Those are three great picks.
I'm not aiming small.
All of them.
I'm not aiming small. I want to be clear. Yeah. And I don't know what I would do in Star Wars, like working for Star Wars, but like at some point it sounds fun. Sounds like they're doing a lot of stuff. Just let me in, Yeah.
I mean, you do run the George Lucas talk show.
Yes, and I'm nervous that
resume.
Maybe. Yeah, but I'm also nervous that maybe disqualifies me.
They're going to sue you. They're like, what's this? Maybe change it. No. Just change it to the Steve Steve Burns.
Steve Burns.
What is it? Yeah, the
I was
Steve
going to say
Burns talk show.
I was going to say Steve Spielberg.
That's the
one, you know. Sorry.
Okay.
Do either. Yeah. But those are the pillars.
Late night, I feel like, is very much in your wheel. After what you've done, I feel like that'll happen for you. I believe that. I really do.
That's the hope. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
But I love that you love to be so busy. I think that's why I like you as a person, because I am the same way, where it's like I want to see all these things happen, and so I will stay busy. I will work on them. I will pick up extra gigs or whatever I got to do. And but you
I
also
probably pick
like
up
to
too
stay
many
home.
things. Me too. But I get to work from home now. Isn't that great?
It's nice.
It's combining all of the things I like.
Yeah,
I know. My job at home just ended, and I'm sad about it, because now I'm home, and I'm like, I guess I'll make a TikTok. I got to stay busy. I got to do something.
But you know what you can do?
What?
You can go on a dang walk.
Guys, I'm going to text you both when I go on a walk. I'm going to say, I just went on a walk to walk. Like, I'll walk to get a coffee 2 blocks or something, but that's it.
That's a walk. That qualifies as a walk, going to get a coffee. Yeah.
Oh, God. So are you sending your resume around? Are you actively looking now? You are,
yeah. I mean,
that's a job in itself.
I've applied to a couple things this week. I've been actively adjusting and trying to fix the resume, because it's been a little bit since I've had to update it. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think I've applied to 3 or 4 things this week, so we'll see.
Good for you.
We'll see. Who knows?
Any resume tips for us? Like, what have you done to upgrade your resume?
See, I don't know if my resume is good. That's the problem I run into. Something I've done recently is, and I don't know if people like this or hate this, I've put hyperlinks into my resume.
Oh, me too.
Oh, I like that.
I do that too. Yeah. I like it.
Yeah. I think I like it too. I'm not sure. But it's tough when you're a talent booker to not make your resume name droppy.
Right.
But I think you want it to be.
Yeah, you want to like show off.
Hey, tell this to my dad.
I mean, your dad's like, Mark Hamill. Don't put my name on it. I'll just say that after this conversation.
Get it out of there. I mean, it's a weird mix to have to like figure out how to put on there what you did for the job, but then also just be like, I mean, it sort of doesn't matter what I did for the job. Here are the people that I got for the job.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what's important when you're a talent booker.
I think that's drop the biggest names that you can. Yeah. I mean, like when I, on my resume, I have like freelance, like creator or whatever. And I say like, where have my videos been featured, and I list the biggest publications, because I'm like, well, then they know I'm not just throwing them on YouTube for no one to see.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the other
people want to see like the biggest things that you've done on your, like the biggest accomplishments rather than just like little things that you did every day, for sure.
Yeah. The other thing, the hyperlinks on there, I send them usually to my website, because I'm like, well, I've expanded upon what I say here in the website. There's more space, so I can put more stuff on there. So if you really want to see what this is, you click on that, and then you'll get like 3 paragraphs instead of like 2 sentences, That's one of the things that I think, but I don't know.
I think you're making it very accessible, very, easy for people who want to skim or don't. Sounds good. Sounds really good. I change my resume every day.
Yeah.
I don't send it around often, but I literally open it. I change it every day.
Yeah. I change it a lot. Even just like 1 or 2 words where you're like, oh, this could be better, or like shifting this around, or, there's so much minor adjusting that no one would ever notice. Zero people would notice. Yeah.
Sizing of things, wording. I change a lot every day. No, this girl posted about this gig. I would love, like, I want to work in late night too, but I also love like daytime talk shows. That's where I hope to have one someday. And someone posted a job at Drew Barrymore, and like, I wasn't like exactly right for the job, but I was like, I want to work for her. I love her.
Anna, I really want to work on that show too.
Oh my God.
It seems like a fun show.
She's so fun. It's such
I desperately want to work on the Drew Barrymore show.
Me too. So I literally made my resume. I was like, well, I've done enough stuff that I could do this gig. And I like changed my whole resume around, and I was like, here we go. And I sent it in, and I was like, I won't hear back. But, I'm hoping we both get to. Wouldn't that be fun if we worked together on her show?
I would love it. It would make me
so fun.
All day we're just sitting around talking about Drew's news, and we get to talk about how weird it is when she like Skypes in the guests from LA but make it look like they're in the same room together.
They're green screened in.
Yes.
There was one day during the pandemic.
Scream segment the other day. Did you watch that?
Sure.
Because I'm so excited.
But I did see the Courtney Cox thumbnail on my YouTube. There was one day during the pandemic where I was like, I'm going to go be in the virtual audience for the Drew Barrymore show.
Yes.
And I'm in 3 episodes, like dead center in a suit. It's the best.
That's amazing.
I love that.
I'm like giving her the Arsenio Hall dog, arm thing. I'm clapping really big.
I love this. I love that we both love her. That's so cool. Yeah, I want to go be in the virtual audience. That's fun.
You should. It's fun.
She just brings me joy, and I'm like, you know what? I want to work for her. I want to. That's the kind of show I'd love to have someday. I'll do anything to work there. Sure. Wait, that's really funny. I was saying something after. Oh, I did also send my resume to a friend who like works for this other place. I was like, hey, I'm looking for something. Here's my resume.
Yeah.
And I got an email back. You guys will appreciate it. And it was like, cool, thanks. Do you have a bio instead? And I was like, what? Sure, I have a bio. But I was like, don't you want to see all my work and my links? Like,
yeah,
that's a really strange response. I don't know about that.
Be for. That's so weird.
He's a host somewhere, and I was like, "Hey, I host," and I was like, "I thought a resume was more professional than a bio. I thought a bio is like what I send to like a talent, but who's like, hey, do you have a bio I can like read? I don't know."
That's so weird. That's so weird.
It's weird. Well, I think we've officially manifested Drew Barrymore. We're working for the Drew Barrymore show in 2022.
Yeah.
I hope it happens.
Could do this. Yeah.
Well, if you get called, let them know you have an assistant. You got to book me as the assistant.
Or if I get the email saying, so sorry, we're not able to hire you, I'll say, well, wait, have you talked to Anna Roisman yet? Because you should hire her.
Yes.
So
I want to cook a soup on her show with her. I think that'd be the most fun thing in the world, too. I was like, oh, man, imagine making a soup with Drew Barrymore. I'd lose my shit. I mean, I'd be cool, but I'd lose it.
I think this is your clip, and I think you need to tag her in it. I think this is it.
I think we should send this whole podcast episode to them and just say, listen, make our dreams come true, please.
Please, Drew. Make our dreams come Drew.
You should make a Drew Barrymore soup. Like, what would a Drew Barrymore themed soup be like?
Oh, it'd have a lot of color. It would, maybe like a hearty vegetable soup, like something really comforting, because she is just, I think she found her stride. Like, I love what she's doing.
With decorative flowers floating on the top.
Ooh, yes, edible flowers.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, she's classy.
Yes. She is. I love it. Well, thanks for being here, and it was so fun to catch up with you.
Yeah, this was great.
Where can people, listen to your podcast and see the shows you're working on? Give us some plugs.
Yeah, I got so many plugs, so get ready, everybody. You can watch the George Lucas Talk Show. We do it about once a month now. It's usually a live stream, but then they all live on YouTube. We've had wild people on these past couple of years. Whoopi Goldberg was on. Isn't that stupid? That's crazy. Whoopi Goldberg was on. Kevin Smith, Manzukis, Darcy Carty. Like everybody that you want to see has been on there. They all live on YouTube. I recommend just finding a guest that you like and watching it that way. This guy Connor Ratliff plays George Lucas, and then he interviews guests
Connor was
as
on our
themselves.
podcast.
Look at that.
Yeah.
It's very silly. It's very stupid, but I recommend it. And then Rat Scraps is every Sunday night. If you live in New York, you can come see it live at Caveat Theater, or you can live stream it from anywhere in the world. It's a 3-camera, fully edited HD setup. It's very fun. It's very silly, and I feel like you get a good feel for what the improv scene is in New York. I feel like a lot of people talk about it on podcasts, but it's tough to, see it in person. And that's a good way to do it. And then you can follow me on Twitter at Patrick Cotnoir, PatrickCotnoir. I'm trying currently to get more followers than the canceled NBC show The Blacklist Redemption, which was a spin-off of The Blacklist. I'm pretty close.
All right. Yeah.
Wow. That's a good goal. Yeah. Amazing. Well, thanks for being
You're
here.
The best.
You're the best. Oh, I love Patrick. That was fun.
Okay, Patrick, you're the best.
That was nice. That was a great episode. I love that he went from the tobacco farms to booking Mark Hamill. You know, what a jump.
Yeah, so American, you know?
He will. He works so hard. He's going to get all the jobs he wants. So I think he's in a good. Sometimes I think it's a really good place to be when you're unemployed. It's like now where like I don't know.
Yeah, it's kind of exciting.
Yeah, you know, I'm trying to be really positive. I'm pretty unemployed for myself right now. I'm really, you know, I'm doing some comedy shows and I'm auditioning a lot, which is great, and I'm doing VO stuff. But I'm like, all right, I really want like a gig that will like make me feel financially stable, a
regular
for a
thing.
While. It doesn't even have to be so regular, but you know, a gig that is enough money that I don't have to worry for a couple of months. You know what I mean? That's in my
the goal.
World, a couple
being an
months
adult
is lovely. Yeah, you know, sure, health insurance would be awesome, but you can get it from the union if you work enough jobs. So you know,
there you go.
There you go. Ellen, I'm not gonna lie, I have made TikTok my job right now.
I think that's a great job.
I really want to crack the code, Ellen, but I don't have a niche.
I feel that too every time I use it. I'm like, I really don't care that I'm using sounds that I don't even like. I want to see if this sound is going to make my video get more views.
But it's like, it's a mix. It's like, I really, you know, the people who do really well do have a niche. If you're a tobacco farmer and this is what you're teaching, you know, your followers every day, this is how I do it. This is where it goes. You know, like people are excited to come back for more content. I think for me, it's really showcasing the fact that I actually do a lot of things. And there's not one specific thing I want to do. I don't want to just be Hilaria Baldwin on TikTok. I love it. But, you know, when I feel like doing an impression, but I really want to figure it out. I really do. I think I'm on my way. I haven't landed.
You're gonna crack that code for TikTok. I can feel it.
I'm working hard. I'm trying to post every day of the month. I'm really, you know, I had 2 resolutions. Maybe these should be like a health insurance. I manifested. I've written down a lot of goals that I want to have happen. But like, if we're talking like resolutions that like I could say to myself at midnight, you know, on New Year's, like what? Yeah, I'm going to do abs every day of the month.
Okay, great. You're gonna have a 6-pack this year.
Yeah, not every day of the year. I said the month. We'll start. We'll
What?
start with the month. I want to do abs like, you know how people do like dry January? I was doing Jabuary.
Jabuary. Okay, love it. Are you not doing dry January?
No.
Wow.
I don't really drink that much, but I did have some wine last weekend. I'm not really drinking during the week. I'd say I'm being a little like, you know.
Yeah, that's pretty much dry January. You got it.
Is it? Are you doing it?
I am. Yeah.
How's it going?
Feels great. I love it.
Oh, good. That's good. I see a lot of people doing it, but then they're like seeking out these like non-alcoholic spirits and wines and stuff. And I'm like, I don't think that's the point. I think you just kind of do it. Like you don't like it feels like, is it a problem if you need to seek out like a non-alcoholic beverage that's like, makes you think you're drinking alcohol? I don't know.
Yeah, then you maybe have a problem. I think mocktails are a little bit too much effort for me because then you have to like get like fresh juice and different like tinctures or whatever. So I usually just go for a seltzer. It's easy.
Yeah. I mean, you know me, I could live off ginger ale. I like ginger ale more than alcohol. I am so happy with the ginger ale. Remember we used to work together and I'd be like, oh, we're out of ginger ale. And I'd like go to Dwayne Reed to buy myself a ginger ale.
Yeah, I do remember that.
I'm psycho for it. So I'm totally fine. I just need a case of ginger ale and I'm a good to go. So it was that. It was I'm going to do abs every day. Honestly, I'm feeling it. I don't have bad abs. I just really there's this one instructor on Peloton and I'm like, I want her abs. So that's my goal. Okay.
Yeah. All right.
And then the other is you got to post at least a TikTok a day, if not 5.
Oh, that's a real challenge. Do you feel like you have enough in you to do one a day? That seems like it'd be hard.
It's been a mix of, I don't shoot every day. So like some stuff I'm just like, I'll put up a
you
clip,
bank them. Or you, oh, okay.
Yeah, or, I have banked some, I should say, but like, no, if it's edited, I just post it, but I've been editing a lot, like just trying to cut out like some stand-up jokes, because I feel like one-liners do well. It's so funny though. No matter what I edit or do, I feel like the shit that I come up with, like when I do Hilaria laying down on my bed, like that's what gets more views than like stuff I really try and make.
Oh, man.
I don't know. But yeah, no, I love the app. I think it's so much fun. So I just want to like be more successful on it, because I like to make content for like, I want to make content for other brands and stuff. And so that's like that's a goal.
Yeah. I was thinking about becoming an ASMR artist this year, but then I realized that my apartment is incredibly noisy.
Maybe in your next apartment.
Yeah. Or I'll just have to like get my own studio somewhere like really soundproof.
I love it.
But I tried to like make something the other day and I was like, I can hear like every single pipe in my wall right now. This is bad.
I'm trying to make my soup videos more ASMR-y, you know what I mean? Like with chopping and slicing and stuff. But the only issue is I ask for Jared's help. So I used to shoot them all on my own. Now I'm like, help me. I need you for the whole shoot. And it's time consuming and he has a real job. So,
Yes.
So we'll see. But wait, we were going to talk. Okay, so I want to say something. We did this last episode of 2021, you and me, and we had a caller, we had an email, and I love it. I love helping you guys out there. Or even, if you have a friend who wants to be a part of the podcast and talk about their jobs or no jobs or whatever, right? We want to involve our listeners a little more.
We want to hear from you, yeah.
We set up a voicemail. We have a voicemail, like old school voicemail. You can call in and say whatever the fuck you want. Anything you want. You don't have to say your name. You can, I don't know, offer me $1 million. I don't know what it is, but talk shit on your boss, air out your grievances from your bad job or to manifest what you want to happen in 2022, right?
Tell us what office snacks you have in your home office.
Yeah. Best office snacks. We should do an entire episode on office snacks. You and I have a lot to say about office snacks, I feel like, from HQ, We had the best stuff, and then we had the worst stuff.
It was a wild ride.
It was so up and down, and it does change the culture of your job. So, yeah, office snacks. Whatever you want to say. I'm going to put the phone number, do you have it on hand? I was going to say I can put it in the...
I can say it right now. The number is 929-274-4837.
Beautiful. Or you can email us at theunemployedteam@gmail.com. We do have some emails, so if I haven't gotten back to you, I will. And if you want to support us and keep this thing going, oh man, we appreciate it. We've got a Patreon, patreon.com/unemployed podcast. Patreon.com/unemployed podcast. I post the videos there, although I have released some of them on YouTube, so you can watch some of them there. And also, I've been posting essays on there where I just let out my thoughts and feelings on where I'm at employment-wise. I'm going through I would say, a weird time right now. I'm in a transitional time right now, so I'm really hoping something good happens soon. But for now,
I feel that too, Anna, for sure.
Okay. All right. Well, this was a great episode. Go listen to all the other episodes. Review it. Leave a little review or make sure you give us 5 stars. It really does help. And that's it. I love you. Happy New Year, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. Right now, I just want to take a moment to thank everybody who has supported our Patreon. This is your shout out right here from me. Tons of love. And if you haven't checked out our Patreon, all of our videos go up there. Sometimes I just write fun things because I feel like it. And it's just a really nice way to support us at Unemployed and, so we can keep this thing going. We do it for nothing. We do it for fun. We do it for you to listen to. So definitely check out the Patreon. And right now, huge shout out to our patrons, Bill Horton, Chi of Steele, Danielle McCartney, Lori Jackson, Jeannie Logan. We got Joe Galati, Chris Arneson, Jordan Lucero, Oscar Yuen, Ken Levin, and Vic Terry. Thank you so much. You have no idea how much it means to us, and I appreciate you, and I see you, and I love you.